Am I the asshole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager? My 25F father married my stepsister's 23F mother when I was 4 and she was 3. We've lived together most of our lives and are a family. She and I were extremely close. She developed cancer when she was 14 and was sick for about 2 years. She's since made a full recovery. During that time, my parents became understandably overprotective. They also asked a lot of me. I quit my extracurriculars so I could get a job. The money went towards her medical bills, and so I could drive her to appointments. I didn't go to dances and any fun activities I did needed to include her. I did almost all of this willingly, the exception being having to quit my high school volleyball team. I did throw a bit of a tantrum about that, but was swiftly punished. And I think having one emotional breakdown was pretty chill given the circumstances. Anyhow, I go to college and meet my ex, we'll call him Ben, when I'm a junior. We fall in love, blah blah blah. He and I move in together when we graduate, so we've been living together for about 3 years. We were serious until July when I walked into my bedroom and saw him fucking my sister. I broke it off, tears were shed, he moved out, etc. My sister apologized at first but then backed off. I thought she was giving me space, but last week she called and asked if we could meet up. She told me that she and Ben were in love and were just telling me as a courtesy before they started posting photos online. Distraught, I left her in the restaurant by herself and did not pay my portion of the bill. She later Venmoed me asking for the money. She told my parents, who then called me to their house, telling me how disappointed in me they are for not supporting my sister's relationship with Ben. They brought up the fact that because she had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette, and has a hard time meeting people. I don't buy this, in part because I've seen her socialize just fine, and since we spent a good chunk of the time she was sick together, that would also mean that I should have bad social skills as well, by that logic. They then told me that if I don't accept my sister and Ben's relationship, they may have to go no contact with me. I reminded them that I'm also their daughter and they should understand my point of view, but they are adamant that this is about me being jealous of her. For the record, I'm not jealous of her. I'm not upset that Ben picked her over me. I'm sad about the end of the relationship and do feel betrayed, but Lord knows that I don't want to be with a cheater. What I'm upset about is the fact that my sister chose Ben over me. That she slept with Ben knowing he and I were in a long-term, committed relationship, and continues to be with him knowing how much it hurts me. Now no one in my immediate family is talking to me and I'm getting messages from aunts and uncles and cousins telling me that I'm an asshole and a selfish bitch. And #X200B. And #X200B. Edit. Thank you everyone so much for your comments. This has gotten more attention than I expected and I'm having trouble keeping up, so if I don't say thank you, then thank you. I've been given a lot of food for thought. To be honest, while I've had moments where I've been resentful or upset about my teenage years, I've always thought that I did the right thing for my sister and for my family. And that time wasn't all miserable. I was very close to my sister and we made things as fun as we could. But I didn't think of it as an abdication of my parents' responsibilities or that they were doing wrong by me, which many of you pointed out. I definitely have a lot to think about. Thank you again for making me feel less crazy about all of this. And #X200B. And #X200B. Update. Sometimes you can only laugh. Just got off of the phone with my cousin who saw this post and said he could explain a few things. I asked him why he was on Reddit instead of school. He asked me why I was on Reddit instead of work, and I said touché. He told me that after my conversation with my mom, she went to his house and talked to my aunt. And here's the deal. Turns out my sister is not only in a relationship with Ben but 4 months pregnant. Which means she and Ben were fucking for longer than I had even guessed. Apparently my parents are so adamant that I forgive her because I'm already ruining their experience of their first grandchild. That's right, I'm less important than my stepmom posting ultrasounds to Facebook. This is where we're at. Anyhow, I called out of work sick the rest of the day and am going to drink a lot of alcohol. Like, a lot of alcohol. And then start thinking about what the fuck I'm going to do. Not the asshole. Your parents are enablers. Cancer as a teen did not shrink wrap her and isolate her from the entirety of human mores and values forever and ever. Amen. From what you describe, it sounds disturbingly like you have been deemed the cannon fodder of the family. Take some time for yourself, put them on the back burner. Not the asshole. Having cancer as a teenager is not a valid excuse to be a shitty person for the rest of your life. Not the asshole. Oh heck no. Your sister is using an illness she had a decade ago as an excuse to sleep with your boyfriend and gave that be okay. It's not. The fact your parents are going along with this smacks of having a golden child. I'm sorry to say that sometimes the trash takes itself out. Your sister is awful. You parents are and were awful. It was not your job to quit every activity to pay your sister's medical bills and drive her around. It's good that you know this now and can get some therapy and move on with your life. You deserve better people in your corner and they are out there waiting for you. So getting cancer means you can be an asshole? Learn something new every day. Not the asshole, obviously. Your sister is an asshole, but your parents are even bigger assholes for thinking you just need to get over it and accept things. You may not see it that way, but she did you a favor because now you're not with a cheater, and you know that your sister and your parents are toxic and selfish and that you shouldn't be having a relationship with those people. They've screwed you over your entire life. You've sacrificed most of your childhood for that girl and that's the thanks you get. They are so not worth your time or your awesomeness. Just fuck them. Not the asshole. Her lack of social etiquette is due to their lack of parenting, not cancer. You are better off without these people. ETA. Her asking you to a restaurant to deliver bad news and then requesting money for it is ridiculous. She sucks. Not the asshole. I had cancer as a teenager. I've managed to not have sex with either of my siblings' partners, weirdly enough. Not the asshole at all. She wanted you to Venmo her money? Damn. You already Venmoed a boyfriend to her. She's a sad, greedy, jealous individual who uses her illness to excuse her bad behavior. If you take her cancer out of the equation, then it's likely no one in the family would talk to her. Having cancer does not give her a get-out-of-jail-free card. It is not an excuse for betraying you. She is a mahus of awe. Edit. Spelling. Not the asshole. 1. She's an asshole for cheating. If they had feelings for each other and were sleeping together, they could have broke the news to you earlier. 2. Why the fuck would she ask you for money under this circumstance? She could have waited or understood that she is in a lot of debt with you. 3. If she had to run to your parents to get them to approve of their relationship. Again, she could have told you or them earlier. IDK how your parents aren't ashamed of her. You don't cheat on your sibling and run to your parents after you're caught in the act to get them to talk to you. I'm so mad just reading this. Also, you are right, she understands social relations just fine. She is just an asshole. Don't doubt yourself and sadly, stop expecting any support from your family. Am I the asshole upset with my roommate for getting a cat knowing I'm allergic? So this one's pretty obvious what happened, but it started with my roommate telling me her boyfriend gifted her a kitten for her birthday. She knows I'm severely allergic and wanted to talk to me about it before she brought it home. I agreed as long as she promised to keep it in her room and not let it roam around the house. It's a 4-bedroom townhouse anyways, it has plenty of room. Or if she did let it out, she promised to clean and vacuum right after before I got home. Literally none of that has happened, so I'm waking up every morning with my eyes swollen shut and itchy, my face is bright red, my nose won't stop running, and I can't stop sneezing. It's affecting my job because I work in healthcare and people believe I have COVID. I tried talking to her about please vacuum after it's out and I was super nice about it because it's miserable waking up like that every morning, but I know she loves the cat. But at the same time I find out when I'm not home she wraps it up in my blankets downstairs and lets it roam all hours of the day. The house smells like cat and the litter box is never clean. I'm so frustrated at this point, but tonight she let the cat out to play with my small dog. The dog was here before she moved in and all of the roommates agreed to having her. She's trained and doesn't bark and the roomie with the cat likes her as well, and thought it was wonderful. Now I had to bathe my dog because I am highly allergic to the dander the cat rubbed all over her. I wasn't excited that she let them play and now she slammed her door shut and won't speak to me. I sent her a text apologizing for hurting her feelings but explained again my allergy is to the dander the cat leaves behind, so putting her up before I get home doesn't help if she doesn't clean. She's stomping around the house now. Am I the asshole? Edit. Thank you all for your comments and opinions and taking the time to read this post. I just want to clarify. I am already on heavy-duty allergy medicine that can't be mixed with anything, so I am trying to make the allergy more tolerable. It just isn't working because of how often she lets the cat out. The roommate before her had a cat as well and we had the same terms, but she was very respectful and there was no issues with my allergy, so it can definitely be done. I barely knew that cat was even there. Thirdly, I am 23 in college and you are all very right, I am definitely a doormat and let people walk all over me, but because of you all I grew a spine and tried to talk to her. She locked her door and turned up her music, so I sent her a text explaining how I know she lets it out and it isn't an accident, and how pet allergies don't go away when you put the cat away, it's the dander left behind and everything she touches. I also told her how I really didn't appreciate how little she is trying to hold up her end of the deal. I said it would be best if the cat goes home to her parents where she can visit her often, but I can't live with it any longer, as she promised to hold up her end of the deal but has not, and it's been months. If she can't agree to this, I will be getting myself out of the lease, and I will be explaining to the landlord it is because of the cat and how the house smells and is not kept clean, which I'm sure he won't be very happy about. I worded it as nice as possible. For those of you who told me to be an asshole, thank you, but I'm just not that aggressive. It's been about 12 hours and no reply yet. Roommate number 2 is going to talk to her as well about the cat pee smell and how it's not cool to force me to live like that over a gift she had accepted before she asked for permission. We know she would have said yes to the cat regardless of what our thoughts on it were. She already had pictures of her boyfriend holding it at his house before she asked, and the birthday gift was over a month early. She is very immature and has a lot of crying, stomping fits over things as simple as roommate number 3 asking her if maybe this time around she could clean their shared bathroom, since roommate number 3 is the only one that does. But we're all trying our best. If number 2 can't change anything, number 3 said she would love to step in. And if that doesn't work, then I'll be going to the landlord, as I've already found options for new places to live. But again, thank you all for the support. I feel a lot better about saying what I've said to her, and I know I shouldn't apologize for being allergic, and I won't be any longer. INFO. Why are you the one apologizing? This is a situation that will only be resolved with a. You getting sick enough to be in the ED or hospitalized. B. You move out. C. Cat goes. Or D. Cat plus roommate move out. There isn't any middle ground that involves you and the cat in the same home. Your roommate is deliberately making you ill. She's a major not the asshole, and please strengthen your spine enough to say no. That doesn't work for me. Edited for clarity. Not the asshole. The cat has to go back to the BF's house immediately. Considering the severity of your allergy, I don't understand why you agreed to this in the first place. The cat obviously has to go. Her love for the pet doesn't supersede your health and work. Not the asshole. You were more compromising than necessary in the first place, and she has obviously made no attempt to meet you halfway. You should not have to live like this. Tell your roommate she has to rehome the cat. Set a firm deadline. This is your health at stake. You've compromised more than enough already. You never should have agreed to let the cat come in your home, period. She never should have asked, knowing you are severely allergic. Not the asshole. And YTF are you apologizing to her? She agreed to your terms for your allowing the cat into the home, and she has disregarded them completely. She is preventing you from peaceful enjoyment of your home. Put your foot down and involve the landlord if necessary, since he allegedly never responded to being told of the feline addition to the household. Not the asshole, she agreed to the terms. If she doesn't follow it, I'd be saying she needed to find a new place to live. Can't be affecting your job and livelihood because of her selfishness to pick up after herself. Not the asshole. She broke your agreement. You have to put your foot down on this and not apologize. Be forking assertive and say, hey, this is not what we agreed. I am allergic, which I told you beforehand. Or else sorry to say the cat has to go. You live there too. You pay the rent too. I'm getting so heated because I hate inconsiderate roommates. Not the asshole. You set clear boundaries before the cat entered the home. Those boundaries have been consistently ignored. She is actively making your allergies worse by allowing the cat play with your dog, and be on your blankets. At this point, something needs to change. Either the cat needs to go, or you go. Am I the asshole for not paying my hairdresser back the refund she gave me? Too long did not read. At bottom. I decided to try a new hair salon last weekend, which was a big mistake. The lady cutting my hair didn't listen to what I said I wanted and just gave me a haircut she decided I should have. My hair was very long prior to this and is now barely past my shoulders. It is choppy, uneven, and honestly illogical the way she tried to layer my hair. It is not blended, and it is not cute. I have never cried about a haircut before this, but I have been upset over this since it happened. I have a bad habit of not being very assertive at the salon. Usually this works out for me, as I always have a little panic when they first start cutting, but usually the person knows what they're doing and it works out fine in the end. Now I know I should be more assertive and communicative, and I should have spoken out more. I don't think this would have changed the outcome, however, because she cut my hair so fast that I really did not have a chance to stop her until it was too late. I smiled and told her I liked it, tipped 20%, and went home to cry. After re-washing it and still hating it, I decided to leave a review for the business. I left a very honest 1-star review about how I felt ignored and that my hair was ruined. A few hours later, my hairdresser reached out to me very apologetic and offered me a refund. I was not expecting a refund nor did I ask for one, but since she offered I accepted it. She refunded me via Venmo, and I edited my review to reflect the conversation we had that day and the refund she had offered. I changed the review from 1 star to 3 stars out of respect for her customer service. I did leave the original content of the review, but I put the edit on top so it would be seen first. I told her I had done this and wished her good luck in the future and thought that was that. Next thing I know, she is blowing up my phone trying to guilt me for not removing the review entirely. She told me I was not kind and wished bad things would happen to me. She is now demanding that I send her back the refund she gave me since I won't delete the review. I am digging my heels in that the refund wasn't conditional and I don't feel like it's an honest business practice to guilt and harass people into removing negative reviews. Am I the asshole? Too long did not read. I got a bad haircut and left a bad review. The hairdresser reached out to me and offered to give me a refund which I accepted. I edited the review from 1 stars at 3 stars and explained that she gave me a refund and complimented her customer service. Ever since, the hairdresser has been harassing me via text trying to get me to delete the review entirely, which I have refused to do. She said I need to send her money back since I won't delete. I have also refused to do this. Edit just to clarify that I did explain what I wanted, a trim with long layers, and pointed to the length I wanted my hair to fall. Even if she didn't understand me and just gave me something else I didn't want, it's still objectively a bad job. You told her to her face you liked the haircut. You tipped her a generous 20%. Then, you blindsided her with a shitty review. You should have told her then and there you hated the haircut and allowed her the chance to fix it. Why didn't you call her after you realized how much you hated it? Be honest next time. Most salons will fix it for free if you don't like it. She sucks for trying to bribe you to take the review down though. And for sending you all those abusive texts after you didn't. Not the asshole. She was bribing you so that you'd remove the review. It's good that you're standing your ground. Let other people know she's bad at her job. Keep all your text messages, BTW. Just in case. Not the asshole. I think it was good that you adjusted the review to 3 stars based on customer service. But now. Sod it. Knock it down to 1 star again for harassment. Not the asshole. Reviews are there for a reason. I'd edit it back to a 1 star with her behavior. Not the asshole. Refunds are not a get-out-of-jail-free card. If she doesn't want bad reviews, she should improve her work. Do not be sorry. Be better, Kratos. Strongly think it's shitty to not give people the chance to fix, or at least try to fix, a situation before leaving a review. Like you told her to her face that you liked it and then left a 1-star review. She also should not be pressuring you to remove a review. I can see why she's frustrated though because you told her you liked it. She gave you a refund, and she's still got a negative review. Not the asshole. She didn't give you a refund because she cares about your concerns. She gave you a refund to pay you to take down your review. She doesn't care about doing a better job or building good client relationships. You don't need to do anything different except find a better hairdresser. You shouldn't have lied while you were in the hairdresser's chair, saying you liked it and tipping. Instead of leaving a 1-star review, you could have talked to the salon a few days later, once emotions settled, and arranged for them to fix it or give you a refund. Your behavior is passive-aggressive and your communication in the salon chair is obviously bad. I am also socially anxious and have received many haircuts that have made me cry. Part of my problem was that I didn't communicate what I wanted and my boundaries very well. The stylist shouldn't be blowing up your phone now obviously. You get to keep the refund you were issued. Am I the asshole for telling my friend's daughter not to get married? I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 33 male, for 11 years now. We met when I was 18 and got married barely a year later. I deeply love with my husband and we have a happy marriage. But it wasn't always so great. We got married too young and too fast. We didn't get to know each other as deeply as we probably should have. Things were hard and there were a few times where we nearly divorced. It took a few years of counseling to get us to where we are now. But if I could do it over again, I probably would have delayed a few years to marry. I do have some regrets. Now, I have a friend, Amy, who has a 17-year-old daughter, Rose. Amy knows I got married very young, but we're not close, so she didn't know my story wasn't one of sunshine and rainbows. She invited me to lunch the other day and Rose was there. While eating, she told me Rose was getting married. I was shocked and couldn't respond right away. I was trying to think of a nice way to ask if Amy had lost her mind. Where we live, a patent must give a minor permission to get married. Well, I guess I looked a little too shocked because Amy prodded and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" I tried to smile, but it probably looked forced. I gave her my congratulations and just tried to move on to another topic. But Amy wouldn't let it go. She made a comment about how wonderful young love was and how Rose and her boyfriend would have a happy marriage like mine. I was confused, so I asked why she used my marriage as an example and not her own. I was so surprised when Amy said I was proof getting married as a teen was a good thing. Rose asked if that was true. I told her I was 18. I tried to keep my answer short. Rose asked what it was like and I answered her honestly and in detail. I told her how hard it was, how I regretted not exploring the world and myself. I told her it's difficult to be married when you're not even really sure how to be an adult. Y'all, shit hit the fan. Rose exploded at Amy, screaming about how she doesn't want to get married and stormed out of the restaurant. Amy screamed at me for poisoning her daughter and telling her not to get married, especially since she's pregnant. I didn't know she was, or that was the reason Rose was getting married. She worked out before I could even say anything. Now I'm getting hateful, nasty messages from Amy's family and from Rose's boyfriend's family about how I ruined them and am the reason Rose is an unwed teenage mother. I'm really thrown by this. On one hand, I feel bad for being the reason all this trouble started. But on the other hand, I was asked my experience and I was honest. And honestly, I don't think she should get married just because she's a teen mom. If I'd have known she was pregnant, I probably would have said something about how adding motherhood into the mix didn't magically make my marriage better. I don't think I did anything wrong, but maybe I'm blind to it because so many people are so mad. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, you saved that girl's future. Her family cares more about appearances than for their daughter's happiness and mental well-being. Not the asshole. You did the right thing. In the end, that's all that matters. They asked and you kept it real, and you even avoided doing it at first. I can't find any fault here. I would also wager that the girl might reach out to you sometime in the far future and give you thanks for what you did. It's obvious the young woman already had reservations about getting married to begin with, and her family only really cares about their reputation. The young woman be damned. Out fucking standing. Not the asshole. It's not 1950 anymore. You don't have to get married just because you're pregnant. I agree as well, getting married too young is a mistake. You have to find out who you are before you can commit to anyone else, and at 17 you have no clue who you are yet. Not the asshole. In fact, you're a hero in my book. Amy clearly set you up to sell a decision to an uncertain Rose. What a toxic family. Not the asshole. They cornered you and wanted affirmation that getting married as a teen was amazing and wonderful, without ever confirming that it was. They asked, you answered, and they didn't like the answer. Painting you as the problem here is not right. I am guessing the parent pushed her to get married due to pregnancy, and wanted you to assist in saying that it's awesome. Not the asshole. Your friend was trying to manipulate her daughter. There's no shame in being an unwed mother. I hope she gets the support she needs without it being conditional upon her shackling herself to a future she doesn't want. Not the asshole. Being pregnant is probably the worst reason to get married. And people do know that kids can do math, so when it's a bad marriage, the first kid that they were, that mommy and daddy got married and are so unhappy together? They know that, right? Not the asshole. They asked. You tried to abstain from giving lots of details, but they pressed. You were candid about your own experience, as you should have been. You helped this young girl make an informed decision. It sounds like the parents were trying to force marriage, which wouldn't have been good for anyone.